In the heart of California's Sierra Nevada mountains, nestled among the whispering pines, lies the forgotten town of Keddie. Once a bustling railroad retreat by the 1980s, it had become a shadow of its former self. But in the spring of 1981, Keddie would be thrust into infamy, when Cabin 28 became the scene of one of the most gruesome and perplexing unsolved murders in American history. This is the story of the Keddie Cabin murders. Welcome to Echoes Untold, where history whispers and we listen. Keddie, California, was the kind of place that barely made the map. Tucked away in Plumas County, it started as a railroad town in the early 20th century. For decades, trains brought tourists to the Keddie resort, families seeking a mountain escape, fishermen angling in nearby rivers, children playing among the cabins. But by the late 1970s, the charm was fading. Jobs disappeared, cabins were rented for cheap, and the resort fell into disrepair. Poverty crept in. Among the families that moved in during this time was the Sharp family. Glenna Sue Sharp, a 36-year-old mother of 5, had fled an abusive relationship in Connecticut. With little more than her children and a car, she came to Keddie seeking a new beginning. In Cabin 28, Sue tried to make a home. Sue was described as quiet but strong-willed. She took classes at Feather River College and relied on welfare to support her children. Her oldest son, John, was friendly, popular, and often looked after his younger siblings. His friend, Dana Wingate, had recently moved in with the family after clashing with his own parents. On the night of April 11, 1981, John and Dana hitchhiked to Quincy for a party. Sheila Sharp, Sue's daughter, stayed overnight at a friend's cabin just down the lane. Back at Cabin 28 were Sue, her youngest boys Rick and Greg, their friend Justin Smart, and Sue's 12-year-old daughter Tina. None of them knew. It would be the last night their family would ever be whole. April 12, 1981, Easter Sunday. At around 7:45 a.m., Sheila returned home. What she saw was beyond comprehension. 3 bodies, brutally beaten, tied, and left in a blood-soaked living room. Her mother Sue, her brother John, and Dana Wingate were dead. Sue lay partially covered with a yellow blanket, gagged and bound with electrical cord. Her throat had been slit. John had been beaten so violently his skull was fractured. Dana had likely been strangled. There was blood everywhere, on the walls, floor, ceiling, and furniture. Yet in a nearby bedroom, Rick, Greg, and Justin were found alive, untouched. But Tina was gone. The scene was chaotic and deeply disturbing. 2 kitchen knives, a hammer, and a medical tape dispenser were used. One knife was bent from the force. The level of overkill suggested rage, not random violence. There were no signs of forced entry. No neighbors had heard screams. The phone had been left off the hook. The porch light had been unscrewed. Someone had made sure this house was isolated in silence. Multiple perpetrators were suspected. The theory? The killers subdued Sue, John, and Dana, while the children slept through it. Or perhaps they were made to. And then, the most haunting question, what happened to Tina? Suspicion quickly fell on a neighbor, Martin Smart, whose son Justin had been sleeping over. Martin was reportedly angry at Sue, believing she had advised his wife to leave him. He was unstable, prone to outbursts. Staying with Martin at the time was Beau Boubaid, a former Chicago mob enforcer with a violent past. He claimed to have been with Martin at a bar that night, though timelines didn't add up. Martin later claimed to have lost a hammer, one similar to that used in the crime. He even wrote a chilling letter to his wife. "I've paid the price for your love, and now I've killed those dear to you." Still, neither Martin nor Beau were ever arrested. Some say the investigation was compromised, that Beau had FBI connections, that a cover-up was quietly orchestrated. The Plumas County Sheriff's Office fumbled the case from the start. Evidence was lost or ignored. Crime scene contamination occurred. Key witnesses were dismissed. Even more damning, Tina's disappearance was treated with shocking indifference. Her name wasn't added to the FBI's missing persons database for over 3 years. There was no official reward, no national search. It was as though Tina had been forgotten, but she wasn't. In April 1984, a bottle collector searching near Feather Falls, roughly 100 miles from Keddie, discovered a human skull and fragments of bones. Nearby, investigators found a child's blanket, a blue nylon jacket, and a pair of jeans. Dental records confirmed the nightmare. It was Tina Sharp. Decades passed. Then in 2013, Sheriff Greg Hagwood, who had lived in Keddie as a teenager, reopened the case with a new task force. They discovered that many case files had never been processed, witnesses hadn't been re-interviewed, evidence sat in storage untested. Then a breakthrough. In 2016, a hammer matching the missing murder weapon was found in a pond near the crime scene. And a chilling admission. A former DOJ agent confessed that the case was covered up intentionally. The sheriff now believes multiple people were involved. That the killers are known, and perhaps still alive to this day, theories swirl. The site of Cabin 28 has since been torn down, demolished in 2004. But in the minds of those who remember, the horror still stands tall. Keddie remains haunted, not by ghosts, but by silence. The Keddie cabin murders remain one of the darkest stains on California's criminal history. Justice has yet to speak. This is Echoes Untold, where history whispers and we listen. If you found this story powerful, help us keep these echoes alive. Like, share, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries that shaped our world. Fact-checked note. All research in this video is based on verified law enforcement records, independent investigations, and journalism, including Plumas County Sheriff's Office archives and 2016 task force updates. The documentary People magazine investigates. Cabin 28. Interviews from Unsolved Mysteries, 1987-2000. Eyewitness accounts and letters archived at Keddie28.com. Investigative reporting by Sacramento Bee, Louisiana Times, and CrimeCon.